serious though, this certainly was the Christmas miracle. Jim's a fellow board member, and when you hear later on today the story that took place between Jim, Melissa, the police department, fire department, it is a miracle. Absolutely 100%. Jim was just telling me, to the extent that was taking place, I was just like horrified of how much was involved, because I think everyone's been in buildings and see defibrillators and you just never really think about what actually has to take place. And I was just absolutely amazing. And talk about being a warrior you are, to battle what you did. Thank you for staying with us. And there's one guy I know is looking down from above. Nelson Burbank had always said Ed and his staff are the best in the business, without a doubt. For him, I'm willing to bet, not to criticize other rinks, but we're promoting ours. I don't think other rinks have a general manager and staff that have taken the time to be trained like they were on CPR to save Jim's life. All right, so with that, Ed, Jim, thank you. Thank you so much from the board and the town. Thank you.
To make it easy on Jim, I'm going to bring up his friends first. Jim is not a stranger to the Burbank Arena, having coached youth hockey in the day, but he's here every Friday night with a group that skates in the winter 9:30 to 11, in the summer 8 to 9:30. Clearly, if I'm the guy that gets stuck working it, they're not my favorite group every week. But they are very committed, and we're so proud to have them. So we have Mark Johnson and the original Commissioner Bob Strandberg to just give Jim a little gift.
Thanks, Eddie. The original commissioner got stage fright, so I think he's going to kind of stay in the shadows. So we've been with the rink and Eddie since 1994 when it opened. I signed up my son for youth hockey, and the commissioner had a banner at the sign-up that said RASH. I'm like, what the hell is RASH? Reading Adult Senior Hockey. We weren't seniors at the time, but we are now. Just the way it goes in life. So anyway, Jimmy, thank God you're here. Thank you to Brownie, to Melissa, the police and fire. Ranks amongst both police and fire. The current police chief was one of our goalies. Brownie was a goalie. Dave Roy, Danny Cahoon also played for years. So we're all mingled amongst the community. So other than that, just thank you, and thank God you're here.
All right, next up, we're happy to have representatives of both American Red Cross and American Heart Association. We're going to go closer to Peduto alphabetically and go with American Red Cross. It's Kyle McWilliam Lopez, has been nice enough to come out and spend some time with us, so thank you so much, Kyle.
Hey everybody, I'm Kyle McWilliam Lopez, the Executive Director for the local chapter of the American Red Cross. This is obviously just a really heartwarming story, and it really represents the reason why the American Red Cross provides the life-saving training that we do. So kudos to the Burbank Ice Arena for ensuring that their staff is trained. It's my understanding that their last training occurred just 6 months ago to the day before this incident, so that's really incredible. And I was just talking with Jim and Melissa to hear their stories right before this, and what they did is really, really incredible, and their actions truly embody the spirit of the American Red Cross, which is to act in the face of an emergency to alleviate human suffering. And so just a big round of applause to them for their actions. And by just encouraging everyone, if you haven't received that training, please check it out. Emergencies can happen anywhere and at any time. And when they do, what we tend to see is a group of people standing around, not knowing what to do or trying to remember how to act. And if you've had this training, you really are better prepared to save a life. So I'm glad you're here, Jim. So thanks, everybody.
It's amazing when you see Brownie and Melissa. Brownie was doing the first aid on Jim, and he said, I heard all kinds of things cracking. If you do CPR right, that's often the case. And if, unless I'm mistaken, the physicians all said not one broken rib. So he's the gentle giant back there. Not one broken rib. He must have done it perfectly and taken over relief quickly by Reading Police and Fire. Going into the American Heart Association now, we're happy to have Allison Perrin Drag representing American Heart. They are also instrumental in the training programs for CPR throughout the country.
It's so lovely to see you. You know, we work really hard on making sure that people learn CPR, that defibrillators are available. You know, for us, the chain of survival is really important, and everything that happened here at the rink, the fact that they've had a defibrillator here for over 20 years, the fact that they train staff, the fact that everyone knows where the defibrillator is available, that they had customers here who called 911 quickly, that they had, you know, folks to act quickly, that fire and police got here quickly. That is a testament of why, thank God, Jim is here today and able to be here. That's what we want. We want to make sure that more people know CPR, that there is more defibrillators available. For the Heart Association, we like just take a moment. We have a Heart Saver recognition for the 4 individuals that really stepped forward to do that. I don't know if you want me to call them up,
sure.
Or Laura and Fran, who are the customers who first realized that Jim collapsed and called 911. And then Melissa and Jim for really stepping in, using the defibrillator, starting CPR. You know, thankfully, this story could have turned out so much worse than we usually see those tragedies where, you know, no one is doing CPR, the defibrillator is not available. So Melissa and Jim. Thank you. We just really want to applaud the rink for all their work on this and for making this a priority, and it's so lovely to see everybody and see Jim and his family here as well. Thank you so much.
I love my job, but I would have to say the ice rink is a unique environment, and despite 10 times training over 20 years, my begging the instructor to let me use that defibrillator on the ice, I'm probably not going to be able to drag Jim 60 feet across the ice to dry land. Fortunately, he wasn't relying on me. We had Jim, and we do have video of that, security video, that I'm willing to share with any of the media outlets. I was let down by a couple of vendors that promised me someone under 12 that could do it in 2 seconds and put it up on the screen, but I will share that video. Jim did just that, dragged him across the ice with Laura immobilized in the head, worrying about a cervical spine injury. As anyone that's done CPR training, someone's down, you're not sure what exactly the problem was. So the ice surface is really a unique environment in which to have a heart event, and it worked flawlessly. And thanks Bob Beck in the back for making us do it off the ice, because it very dramatically reduces the injuries to bystanders that might be on metal skates, standing in a pool of water on the ice. So Jim heroically got him 60 feet off the ice onto the matting, and that's where the shocks were applied, multiple shocks were applied. There's no better hockey group in this area than the Boston Bruins, and we are so happy to have a representative of the Boston Bruins today. I believe his title is head of the Boston Bruins Foundation. He's a longtime friend. Early in my youth hockey career, I could never beat him, as he'd come in with Acton Boxborough. And when we stand next to each other, you'll understand why I was always on the losing team. But Bob Sweeney, I just contacted him less than 48 hours ago, and he's nice enough to come out and represent the Bruins here today for what was a hockey event. So Bobby.
right, Eddie? You know, I have to bend over here. Thank you to Eddie, and obviously thanks to Jim for what you've done here for Jim. Amazing. This is a great story. On behalf of the Bruins, I'm so happy to be here for a story to celebrate someone, a guy that I played a men's league game against, an alumni game against years ago. Jim and I were just talking, so it's great that you're here and you're going to have the ability to go back out on this sheet with the Rads. Is that what they call you, Rads? The Rads. Which is amazing, right? The hockey world is such a small world. As Eddie said, we've known each other for a long time, and I can honestly say I live in North Andover. I've been to this rink numerous times. Eddie and his staff do an incredible job, and to see that you guys were up to speed on CPR and everything, Jim, amazing. Can't thank you enough, and as I told you guys, we look forward to having you into a game shortly. So on behalf of the Bruins, thank you for what you do. Eddie, thank you for what you do, and we're so happy to still have you with us, Jim. All right.
First responders are so important. We're going to have representatives of both Reading Police and Fire. It seems like we always say police, then fire. So first up will be Reading Police, Deputy Chief Christine Amendola. I'd like to say a few words, and as is so typical, I meet these people at 2 in the morning when the alarm's going off. It's always the police officer, usually very young and just on the job, but they're always kind and polite and willing to take me through the building to make sure actually no one's in the building. And years ago we had a haunted house at the Burbank. It wasn't so successful. We kept one item of that haunted house, a 6-foot Michael Myers that's in that compressor room. So every time I get here, the police are usually already in the building like, what the heck do you have that for? They're ready to go at Michael Myers. But without further ado, Reading Police, great partnership. Deputy Chief Christine Amendola.
Fun at 2 in the morning when you see a huge body looking at you, but medical calls to hockey rinks, as everyone knows, it just brings a sense and height of trauma for us, so we prepare greatly with Reading Police and Fire just train really hard to always be ready for this day. Jim, you look great. I'm so happy with this outcome. I can't. And oftentimes with medical calls, we're on to the next call and we never get to hear the outcome, and we don't really ever get to see our patient, and our patient never gets to see the police or dispatchers that help save their life. So I do want you to see who was here with you that day. So if Officer Kaylin Gooley, Officer Brian Catanizzato, and our dispatcher, Debbie Haynes, are here, so you can put a face to who was out there with you right away. And with that, these are the officers, and Debbie's our dispatcher, walked everyone through on the phone of how to complete CPR. But if I could get the fire chief to come up with me at the same time, because we do have an award to present to our 2 citizens that helped save Jim's life. Chief Greg Burns and I would like to present to Mr. James Brown and Ms. Melissa Vecchio in recognition for outstanding action of rendering life-saving medical aid on December 19th, 2023. Your selfless service and training were essential in saving the life of a fellow citizen at the Burbank Ice Arena. So the Police and Fire would like to give you our Citizens Life-Saving Award. And I'll just say that Reading is just the greatest community, and it shows here at Burbank. And I'll turn this over to the fire chief, but I'm just so happy to see how important you are to the community, and that they're here today to say thank you to you and wish you well.
Thank you. My name is Greg Burns, and I'm the fire chief. I'm so happy to be with you today and to hear the result of this response. Like the deputy chief says, we don't often hear the response, and And all too often, a response like this isn't successful. Reading has a very high success rate for CPR, but you just never really know. And you just had everything in place that day. The American Heart Association identifies 6 items that improve the chances of somebody surviving an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. They refer to the concept as the chain of survival. And there are 6 links: recognition of cardiac arrest and activation of the emergency response system, early cardiac resuscitation with an emphasis on chest compression, rapid defibrillation, advanced resuscitation by emergency medical services or other healthcare providers, post-cardiac arrest care, and recovery. Every one of the out-of-hospital links was in place on December 19th at the Burbank Ice Arena. The Burbank Ice Arena had an automatic defibrillator. James Brown was trained in CPR in the use of the defibrillator. He saw Mr. Liston was down in the ice and immediately responded and put his training to use. At the same time, Melissa Vecchio called 911, activated the emergency response system. Mr. Brown provided CPR, delivered several shocks with the defibrillator as fire and police responded. Next to arrive on scene were our police officers. Their trained responders, Officer Catasano and Officer Guli Balbo, took over CPR. Next to arrive on scene was a Reading fire engine staffed by Lieutenant Robideau, firefighter paramedic Scully and DeBay, and our ladder trucks staffed with firefighter Palrine and firefighter paramedic Belu. Both of these trucks are licensed as Class 5 advanced life support ambulances, and each carry a sophisticated defibrillator monitor and a wide range of medications, including medications designed for cardiac arrest patients. Licensing fire trucks as Class 5 ambulances is unique, and no other fire department in our area has. Their fire trucks are registered as Class 5 advanced life support ambulances. The firefighters took over care and provided advanced life support level care to Mr. Liston. Firefighters placed Mr. Liston on a cardiac monitor, found that Mr. Brown's defibrillations had been successful. They then secured Mr. Liston's airway and established IV access. Next to arrive on scene was our fire department transporting ambulance staffed by firefighters O'Doherty and Therese. These firefighter paramedics took over care and provided advanced life support care and transported Mr. Liston to a local hospital. In looking at the response to this incident, the heroes of the day were James Brown by beginning CPR and administering early defibrillation, and Melissa Vecchio by activating the 911 system. The early CPR, defibrillation, and 911 notification made a significant difference in the outcome. It could have been significantly different, so congratulations. Well done. Like to invite the firefighters that responded to this incident to come up. They just did a fantastic job. I'm so proud of them. Firefighter Colorado, Firefighter Belu, Firefighter Scully, and Firefighter O'Doherty. So, congratulations. Thank you.
As a fairly frequent customer of Reading Fire, I want to echo Chief Burns's status of that advanced life support. We've had people go down in a number of different ways, including myself with a horrendous bee sting a couple of years ago, and that advanced life support is unbelievable. There's vials and needles all over, not needles, but vials and needle caps all over the place when they leave, because they're legitimately providing hospital level care on the scene. And in Jim's case, there was about 13, 14 minutes of advanced life support care going before they transported him. So say all the key steps were in place. Without further ado, I know he's very shy. For those of you that don't know it, I don't think he's ever a former attorney, so he's an attorney. The argument could be made, should we have saved an attorney? But we couldn't even find his driver's license, so to find out what he did for work was way out of this scope. But without further ado, Mr. Jim Liston. Congratulations.
Oh boy, wow, that was really something. One of the problems I had was when I passed out on the ice, I don't remember anything. And so I don't remember anything that happened on the 19th, really until the 26th when I had open heart surgery. That whole time frame is sort of lost to me. But now, you know, after today and from what I've learned from Ed, I can see just how many people participated in the life-saving effort that has me here today. And I really don't know how to begin to thank all of you. I don't have the words to do that. I don't think there are sufficient words that I can come up with to thank you for what you did, from Laura and Franny, who first saw me down in the ice and immediately reported to Melissa and to Jim. And you know, they knowing to immediately get on the phone and dial 911. Get the Reading Police Dispatcher on the line to basically help them and guide them through the process of using the defibrillator, which they already probably knew mostly about. But Jim coming out in the ice, seeing me out there, lying out there, and having to basically drag me with all my hockey equipment and skates over to the area over here and get me off the ice onto an area where he could work on me. Melissa bringing down the defibrillator. You know, getting that thing set up. Jim, I'm told he shocked me at least 2 times and gave me chest compressions at least 2 times. You know, while we were waiting for the Reading Police. The Reading Police show up. They know exactly what to do. You know, Officer Balbo kept my airway open, and the other officer who I just met and didn't know his name before this, but he took over for Jim and began the chest compressions and kept me going. And then the fire department shows up with their state-of-the-art equipment. I think, as the chief was just saying, that, you know, Reading has probably some of the best equipment around. And I'm wondering, after hearing the description of what was on that truck, why he actually needed to go to Lahey Hospital. But yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been a better place for me to have this happen than right here. I was so lucky to be in a place where people were both, you know, aware of what was going on, skilled in the use of the defibrillator. The defibrillator was in the office and worked. You know, half the times people don't even know where the defibrillator is. You hear these stories about, you know, it was there, they didn't know where it was, they didn't know how to use it. Not this place. Everybody knew what to do, and they came in and they did it. And you know, I feel like I was resurrected. My brother-in-law's new name for me is Lazarus. So I was at Lahey Hospital for 1 day. I was unconscious, then I woke up. I was in pretty good shape after that. I don't remember anything until my surgery on the 26th, but between then and the surgery on the 26th, and I still don't remember anything during that week time. But I just want to say, you know, incredibly, what you people did was incredible, and thank you so much. You know, and you didn't just save me. You know, because of what you did, my wife still has a husband. My children still have a father. My 2 grandsons still have a grandfather. You prevented a terrible tragedy for my whole family. You know, for all the work that was done by so many people. And, you know, just hearing it today, I'm really sort of hearing it for the first time in detail, and it's amazing to me. Everybody did their job, And the proof of that, the evidence of that, is me standing here right now. I'm supposed to be making a full recovery. I feel terrific. You know, Ed said I didn't have any broken ribs or anything. Jim did exactly what he needed to do with the defibrillator and kept me going. And so it's truly amazing to me that, you know, I'm here today and this whole story is being told. It's terrific. So I really don't have the words to thank everybody. I just say for all of those that were here and helped me that day, God bless you all.
We do have two other special guests that I failed to recognize earlier. Select board members from the town of Reading, both Mark Doxer and Chris Haley are here. If they could be recognized. They are Burbank Ice Arena's landlords. We try to keep great relations with the select board members, so thank you both for coming out. I would also like to take a minute to just talk about defibrillator batteries. During COVID, ours was indicating that the battery was dead. And there was a nationwide, worldwide shortage, whatever you want to call it. Fortunately, I tried everything. I tried Reading Fire, I tried the Bob Beck, the CPR trainer. No one could get these things for a while. And they kept assuring me, well, as long as 2 squares are lit up, it's gonna work. Well, I can't imagine going over to a patient knowing that it might work, it might not. And the fact of the matter is, very often, these units are in buildings and no one checks them. And when the time comes, they bring that defibrillator out and the battery is dead. And when you have a dead battery, you end up with a dead victim. So if people could just check their defibrillators, put it on a monthly schedule to look at it. If you do regular training, obviously every 2 years, we're looking at it because we pull it out for the training class. But combination of CPR and CPR with a defibrillator dramatically increase the odds of survival. I'm told heart attacks outside of a hospital environment, over 90% are fatal. So this truly is a Christmas miracle. So couldn't be more proud of my staff. Everybody says they have a great staff, but we're staffing this place nights, weekends. You people have holidays? We don't have holidays. We're on holidays. So Jim and Melissa, I'm not surprised at all, but couldn't be more proud of my staff. Thank you all for coming. I did see lunch just arrived. We have a pile of shrimp cocktail. If you stay for nothing else, at least take some of the shrimp cocktail with you. I'd like to thank all the media for coming out as well. This word can't get out too greatly. It's just an incredible story. So thank everybody. Feel free to stick around. Our rink is your rink.
Thank you. Yeah,